My dear students, now we need to discuss something about panel interviews. As the name indicates that the panel interviews can be conducted by a panel of experts. Most interview involve two people, one is the applicant and second is the interviewer. One is the interviewee and another is the interviewer. Occasionally, however, the team or panel approach is used. Sometimes some of the job positions can be offered in the company and they require to conduct a panel interview. So panel interview has some advantages as well. Ideally, this method involves up to three interviewers. And what are included in these three interviewers? Number one, it can be an HR representative, HR head, himself, herself, the department manager, the line manager, the first line manager, and then the departmental head, means the top manager of that particular department. These three people can conduct an interview. And in some cases and in some particular job positions, they can add the fourth one, and he can be a psychologist. Panel interviews are commonly conducted for one of the two reasons. There can be one of the two reasons. Number one, to save the time it would take to schedule three separate interviews. For example, first interview by an HR manager, second interview by the line manager, the third interview by the top manager. So it would take time. Every applicant has to pass through the three different interviews, and then every interviewer has to fix a time for a different kind of candidates. So it can create trouble. It can create more time. So panel interview are relatively efficient. Number two, to compare impression of applicants as they answer question. So if you are sitting in a panel interview, interviewer can compare the impressions together. For example, sometimes some candidates are behaving different with a HR manager. They are behaving a little different with a line manager, and then they are behaving in a very good manner in front of a top manager, or vice versa, that they are behaving good with a HR manager, they are performing down with a line manager, and then they are performing too much down in front of a top manager because of a confusion and frustration. So it helps you to compare impression of applicants as they answer questions. If carefully planned, means the panel interview, if carefully planned, panel interviews can be highly effective because they tend to be more objective, because there's a less singular interaction with the applicant. There's no singular interaction, there is no one-to-one interaction. So it is a multiple interaction of an applicant with number of an interviewer, and that can help and that can be more objective. And it would also reduces the subjective biases with one of the interviewer. May be possible that he is biased with someone, but if he is in a panel interview, there are chances to have less biases. So most of the time, panel interview can be conducted by public sector organization, but nowadays private sector organizations are also moving towards the panel interviews as well. A seating arrangement is very important in the panel interview. Seating should be carefully arranged. Unlike a one-to-one interview where the proximity of interviewer's chair to the applicant is inconsequential, improper seating in panel interview situation can create an uncomfortable environment. So there must be a proper sitting arrangement, and there are a number of options of such kind of sitting arrangement. So sitting arrangement is very important in a panel interview, and you need to be very curious and very interesting in arrangement of sitting in the panel interview. Here is one option, that there is an applicant and then there is a big table, and on the one corner of the table is the one interviewer, another corner of the table is another interviewer, another side of the table is another interviewer. So applicant is interacting with the number of interviewers. And here is a place that is a suggested sitting arrangement for the team or panel interview, that there is no need for a table, and applicant can sit just in conjunction with interviewer, and then they can answer the question in a more better way. So different kind of sitting arrangements are there, and different organizations adopt a different sitting arrangement depending on their strategy of the panel interviews. In conclusion, the sitting should be carefully arranged. It is because improper sitting in a panel interview situation can create an uncomfortable environment, and if there would be an uncomfortable environment, you would not be able to judge the competency of the candidate, competency of the applicant. So sitting arrangement must be comfortable, and that comfort would help an applicant to answer the question in a better way, and it would also help interviewers to ask the questions in a exciting way, so they can get and they can judge the right competencies in the applicant.